A wise man once told me to shout out Dave. I think I've said it before. Dave Kyle, if someone is stupid enough to give you money, take it because if you don't, someone else will.
Let's talk about someone who, unfortunately, he regretted, and he's no longer with us. But his son has lived to talk about what happened. There was a romance scam that led to nearly $1 million lost in a fractured relationship between son and father. So Chris Mancinelli. He remains in shock as his now deceased father fell prey to a romance scam involving someone pretending to be Alexa Bliss. He said, yeah. So Tara Bernard of the New York Times, he said he was convinced he was in a romantic relationship with Miss Bliss, leading him to give up about $1 million in retirement savings and his granddaughter's college fund to the imposter and a varied cast of online fraudsters he interacted with over the years.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
It goes on and says his chat messages with the sham Alexa read like a soap opera. There were battles with his son. There were the battles with his son whom he disowned after Mr. Mancinelli tried to safeguard his money. Other evil meddlers trying to spoil their relationship and ongoing references to Vince McMahon, the former wrestling promoter, whom the fake Alexa accused of humiliating her after she refused his advances. But Alfred was always there, ready to extend emotional support and financial support. So the Alexa impersonator often claimed to be hospitalized for bad menstrual periods and would plead with Alfred to send money so the hospital can begin treating her. Tell me how much do you have left, baby? The imposter would say in the chat. And then I went on and I went on and gave some more data on that. So last year, the romance and scam industry brought in $652 million, according to the Internet Crime Reporting Center. This is just a fraction of the $12.5 billion brought into the online criminal ring. This also only represents what was reported. There are numerous other cases that were not reported. The Federal Trade Commission provides a list of cautions to be aware when it comes to the prevention of being scammed online. Nearly 1 out of every 4 scams involve a pitch that need the money. They need the money because they or a family member are sick, hurt, or in jail. And a good rule of thumb is sad stories are usually scam stories. Are these cautionary articles and things like that? Is like, hey man, usually when you get some type of story that starts with that, avoid it like the plague. So with that being said, with the Alexa Bliss scam stuff, EC3, what say you about this mess, man?
He passed, you said?
Yes,
the guy that was scammed?
He passed, yeah.
Do we know how?
I don't know that. No,
because I would hate to be some sort of you know what I mean. A wise man once told me to shout out Dave. I think I've said it before. Dave Kyle. If someone is stupid enough to give you money, take it because if you don't, someone else will. So obviously. Over $625 million of people falling for these scams. It's sad and it's unfortunate, but then how much empathy can you give someone when it's like you fall for it? And then that's just like, unfortunately, I don't know, culture's sadistic and twisted and bankrupt half the time. And people are scared and people are alone and people certainly have lifetimes of traumas they never get the chance to tackle. Yeah. As a therapist, I'm sure you know, it takes a lot to get just a little bit out of someone, but once that little bit actually does happen, kind of opens the gates, and then real growth and real, personal prosperity can be made. So you just wish they found a better, realistic way to get over what has traumatized them so they would not have fallen for this.
Yeah, good. Well said. He died at 79 after failing to recover from neck surgery needed after taking a fall.
So did he find out he was getting scammed before he died, or he never found out he was being scammed?
No, he didn't find out.
He never found out his son was the one talking about it, right?
Yeah, his son said there was nothing we could do to convince him.
Man, that's sad, bro. That especially the elderly, bro. My father's been phone scam. My father's 93. He's been phone scam. You know, it's bro. When they start when you're old and they start fast talking you, their hands in and out of your wallet, bro, before you even know it.
100%.
Oh, absolutely. Did you see that abomination of a film? I loved it. It was terrible. The Beekeeper.
No, I never seen it.
Jason Statham. Oh, it's the worst. You'll love it. It sucks so bad. I can't get enough of it. I watched it 3 times. But in the beginning, this fine old lady gets scammed by some fast talking whatever, like con man, and then yada yada yada. She passes because she lost everything, and then Jason Statham shows up and kicks everyone's ass and then blows the place up. So
there you go. One of my favorite pastimes is looking at scam baiting videos on YouTube. And so I look at Scammer Payback a lot and Kid Boga. Those are my 2 favorite scam baiting YouTube videos. And they literally make, have millions of subscribers by basically being the people who target the scammers. Yeah. And they bait the scammers, and basically they oftentimes have like old grandmother voices, and they reel them in and reel them in and reel them in and reel them in, and then they either they detect them, they pull up their webcam, they report them to the feds, and so it's a really interesting phenomenon that's going on on YouTube now as far as scam baiting. So I'm glad that there's YouTube pages now that are really hitting these scammers and basically turning it over, using their IT skills to basically be avengers in many ways. So
guys and the pedo hunters sounds like a real dream team.
Indeed.